starts right now.
As San Antonio feels the coldest temperatures it's seen in months, not everyone has a warm place to stay tonight. How a local nonprofit is trying to help that. The lower temps and rain have been the story all day long. Sarah Spivey joins us now. And Sarah, do trick-or-treaters have more of this to look forward to tomorrow night?
Well, it's a good question, Steve. The good news is rain will not be a factor for trick-or-treating. It's still going to be cold, though. And take a look at highs today. We were able to get up to 48 degrees in San Antonio. That's it. Nearly 30 degrees colder than the average. In fact, this is the coldest high temperature we've dealt with in San Antonio since February 2nd, 270 days ago. As we take a look at the radar, there are a few showers that have started to move back into Bexar County area. You can see even a storm out near Uvalde. So overnight, a few isolated downpours are going to be possible. One of these isolated downpours working its way close to Helotes and SeaWorld. But rain is not going to be as heavy as it was last night, and it's going to be spotty, few and far between. And this is the last bit of rain we're going to be dealing with. Talking about the weather headlines, what do you need to know? What is going to be the most important weather information for you? Well, sweaters will be useful until Friday. Sweater weather sticking around until Friday. It'll be chilly tomorrow, but dry for Halloween and trick-or-treating. And one thing I want to talk about is in the hill country, north of San Antonio, likely to see their first freeze of the season early Wednesday morning. I'll show you which neighborhoods are most at risk for that first freeze. Coming up, Steve.
I like that, Sarah. Sweaters useful until Friday. The temperatures change certainly caught a lot of people off guard, but those who offer services to the unsheltered in San Antonio, they were ready with coats and blankets. The night team's Patty Santos with people who know exactly what it's like to sleep outside on nights like tonight.
That's where I keep my blanket.
Ruben Villalobos has his sleeping bag, a blanket, and a coat to get by once he leaves the warmth of the Corazon Ministries Day Center.
Usually, my option would be like being under the bridge or by the river in San Antonio.
He tells me he was caught off guard on Sunday when the cold front arrived, but thankfully, a friend took him in.
He built up a little teepee. He put some blankets there. He said, "Come on, you can sleep there." It's nice like that. That's nice. It was nice.
The population that we're serving have been through many winters, and so this is just kind of what to expect around this time of year.
Over the weekend, staff started handing out blankets and driving clients to shelters.
Those that are willing to go in for help are definitely asking where they can go, and we're pointing them in that direction.
Corazon Ministries has extended its day center hours for the next few days. As winter approaches, the nonprofit needs volunteers to help prepare meals as well as donations of warm clothing to help clients like Villalobos get by.
Good jacket and a blanket. That would be the best for anybody in my situation.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
To other news now, questions tonight after San Antonio firefighters find a man's body while responding to a fire. Happened about 3 o'clock today at a duplex on Meeks Avenue near East South Cross and Clark Avenue. Crews say they discovered the man on his couch unresponsive. Right now, the man's cause of death is unknown. The cause of the fire also unclear. However, Chief Charles Hood tells us there were cigarettes near the couch and they could not find a working smoke detector inside that home. This man, Raul Trevino III, accused of killing 2 people and injuring 3 others at a Halloween party over the weekend. He's charged with capital murder of multiple people and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That shooting happened Saturday night on Roslyn Avenue near Gaynor Street on the west side. A 40-year-old man and 35-year-old woman were killed. A 13-year-old girl, one of the people injured, 13. Police say it was an argument between someone at the party and a neighbor that led to that shooting. A well-known social media trend appears to still be going strong in San Antonio, the so-called Kia Challenge, focusing on stealing Kias and Hyundais. Well, San Antonio police say the Hyundai Elantra was its top stolen car in September, but 5 of the top 10 were Kias. A San Antonio woman's Kia Optima stolen from her driveway earlier this month. She says deputies believe she was a victim of the Kia Challenge.
It's been very popular lately, so it's been very crazy. The cops actually told me that the only way to prevent this from happening again is just not to have that car anymore.
Alexis Radicke actually says she got her car back less than 48 hours later with an estimated $13,000 worth of damage to it. She told KSAT she does not know if any arrests have been made. Nearly $28,000 in damages. That's what the Churchill High School band says it's dealing with after playing in the rain this weekend. Churchill's band director says a heavy downpour moved in during their competition performance in Waco. The rain damage put this week's senior night and competition performances in question, but several schools have stepped in to help Churchill out.
40 instruments that have come to us today. We've calibrated their current instruments to sound really great at a certain location, placement on the horn. And then now that these are brand new, we're going to start from scratch, retuning. They're great instruments, but they are borrowed.
And some of the donated instruments will stay with the Churchill band, but as you just heard, others are on loan for a few weeks. That will help the band finish its season while raising money for repairs. Now, if you'd like to help out the Churchill band, as you can see, they're drying out much more than their instruments. We have a link on our website, KSAT.com. Students at UTSA have voted no on a proposed athletics fee increase. We talked about the university's proposal earlier this month. At the time, UTSA officials said student fees account for 35% of its $39.1 million athletics budget. 70% of students voted against plans to raise the per credit hour athletics fee from $20 to $21.50. The proposal would have also increased the fee by $1.50 per year over the next 5 years. The state of Texas has picked up another win over its border barriers for now. A temporary restraining order granted today allows Texas to keep razor wire up in Eagle Pass. Thousands of migrants crossed the border there in September. The federal judge's order does say Border Patrol agents can cut the razor wire if they're providing, quote, emergency medical aid to migrants. Another hearing is scheduled for next week. A trial date for Attorney General Ken Paxton's long-running securities fraud case has been set. A judge in Houston scheduled that trial to start on April 15th. Paxton accused of defrauding investors who were backing a company called Servergy in 2011 when he was a state lawmaker. In 2015, soon after he became Attorney General, Paxton surrendered to authorities on 2 charges of securities fraud in excess of $100,000. He was also charged with a 3rd felony for advising or representing investors without properly registering. The United Auto Workers Union suspending its strike tonight. The announcement comes on the heels of the UAW's tentative deal with General Motors. Just last week, the union reached deals with Ford and Stellantis, the parent company of Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep. UAW members expected to return to work pending votes on those contracts. And speaking of voting, you still have time to vote early in the November 7th election. Voters will see 14 propositions on the ballot that will either create or change state funding. There are also local races to decide on, depending on your precinct. To see a full list of voting locations and even a sample ballot, just scan this QR code on your screen. Early voting ends November 3rd. That's this Friday. She was once given top honors within the Fair Oaks Ranch Police Department, but that all changed after she filed a complaint. Dylan Collier sits down with that officer who lost her job and explores the possible misconduct by the Fair Oaks Ranch Police Chief that she tried to expose. She was her police department's Officer of the Year. That's her with the award. But after filing a complaint about possible acts of misconduct by her chief, the city of Fair Oaks Ranch fired her. Tonight, for the first time, Officer Lacey Gonzalez sharing her story.
There's a code. You don't talk, because if you do something, you're going to get retaliated against.
The Night Team's Dylan Collier reports on the troubled tenure of Chief Tim Mooring and the city's decision to keep him on the job.
This footage obtained by KSAT Investigate shows a Fair Oaks Ranch police vehicle pursue a speeding car along Fair Oaks Parkway last fall. In the video, officers approach the car from behind as one of them recognizes the driver, Police Chief Tim Mooring. Multiple sources said Mooring was driving the seized Toyota sedan. One former employee telling KSAT Mooring has repeatedly sped along public roadways in city-owned vehicles to keep officers on their toes. KSAT could find no record Mooring was disciplined for the incident. Fair Oaks Ranch officials declined to comment.
To have so much power in the hands of one individual who, as we can see, can be abusive of his power, that's unfortunate.
Adam Murray is a former police officer turned attorney who now represents officers in employment disputes. One of his latest clients, Lacey Gonzalez, learned the hard way what can happen when you challenge Maureen's authority. A 14-page complaint authored by Gonzalez this summer accused Maureen of intimidation, making threats, and even being physically violent to his fellow officers. Gonzalez said she witnessed Maureen give a Fair Oaks Ranch police officer and animal control officer Adderall during a 2019 party, and then watched them ingest the prescription stimulant. The complaint also states Maureen unholstered his service weapon and pointed it at a fellow officer while on duty. And in a third incident, Maureen is accused of shoving a lieutenant against a wall using both his hands. City leaders placed Maureen on paid administrative leave in August after learning of the complaint, only to reinstate him October 10th, stating the allegations were found to be unfounded or not sustained.
You would think at some point they would do the right thing.
Gonzalez says she was stripped of her field training officer responsibilities and no longer given opportunities for overtime. Then in early October, just as the city was preparing to reinstate Chief Maureen, Gonzalez was fired.
By Murray's count, Gonzalez is at least the fourth Fair Oaks Ranch officer to be terminated or face termination after raising concerns about Maureen's behavior.
I mean, this is things for which he should be going to prison, and instead they're keeping him in his position and retaliating against the officers who are brave enough to speak out against him.
Murray said police officials cited a personal matter they had cleared Gonzalez for just 2 months earlier as a reason to terminate her, and added claims that she had violated a Garrity order by speaking about the department's investigation into her. Murray said his client was simply seeking legal counsel. Gonzalez was also terminated for failing to report potential rules violations by Maureen in a timely manner. To make matters worse, Gonzalez said the department issued her a dishonorable discharge, impeding her ability to work anywhere else.
It's next to impossible for you to even get another job in law enforcement. Have you come to terms with that?
This was my life for the last 6 years, so a lot of sacrifice was given to that department.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
KSAT requested a copy of the independent investigation of Maureen. City officials have so far not released it. KSAT could find no record that the chief has been accused or charged with any crimes by law enforcement and could find no legal or disciplinary finding that Maureen abused his power. Gonzalez appealing her termination through the city and her dishonorable discharge through the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. A second Fair Oaks Ranch police officer, Richard Davila, sued the department in 2021, claiming wrongful termination. His petition repeatedly names Chief Maureen. That case scheduled for trial in early February. All right, the costumes picked out, the kids ready to clean up on candy, but Metro Health with a few quick reminders for trick-or-treaters. Adults encouraged to check all candy for pinholes or tears, as well as expiration dates. Be careful with homemade goods from someone you do not know. You can find the full list of safety tips right now at KSAT.com. But what a lot of parents and kids really want to know, just how cold will it be come trick-or-treat time tomorrow, Sarah?
Well, it'll be about what it is out there right now. Temperatures near 50 degrees during trick-or-treating. But the good thing is we are not anticipating any rain during trick-or-treating time. In fact, what you see on the radar is about the last of the rain that we're going to see over the next several days. Here's a look at that radar right now. We do have a few isolated showers working their way back into Bexar County, closer to western Bexar County areas within 1604 and 410 there near Leon Valley. If you're tuning in near Leon Valley or SeaWorld, you are hearing a few of those light rain showers outside right now. And these kind of isolated passing showers are possible in the overnight hours. One thing I want to mention, though, there is a thunderstorm, an isolated thunderstorm with lightning in between Uvalde and Sabinal, right near Canepa. Now, if this can hold on, we could hear some thunder and see some lightning in Bexar County by about midnight 30 around Bexar County. Again, that's if it doesn't weaken before it makes it here, and it just might. But these kinds of isolated passing downpours are what is possible in the overnight hours. And that's about it for the rain because tap turns off. So the big question is, how long will sweaters be useful? How long will it be sweater weather? Well, until Friday. That's when temperatures are going to warm up. But until Friday, when we get up to 73 degrees, we're going to have those chilly mornings. Mornings in the 40s and in the 30s, and then afternoons gradually warming into the 60s by Wednesday and Thursday. Still, though, that's cool enough to need the sweater. And by the weekend, we're going to be back in the 80s, of course, in typical Texas fashion. So let's focus on tomorrow, Halloween. Chilly but dry for Halloween. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Breezy tomorrow too, just not as windy as today. We'll be waking up near 42 degrees early tomorrow morning. Bundle up, mostly cloudy in the morning hours, but quickly clearing. We'll see sunshine by noon, but it's still going to be in the 40s at noon. And then in the afternoon, 58 degrees for the high around San Antonio. And again, most neighborhoods reaching the upper 50s, 59 in Uvalde, 55 in Kerrville, 55 in Rock Springs, around San Antonio, generally in the upper 50s for the high tomorrow. It's trick-or-treating close to sunset that things start to get chilly again. Early trick-or-treaters before sunset, temperatures in the 50s. Sunset right around 6:48. That's when temperatures will be dropping down into the 40s. We're going to have clear skies, a breeze from the north at 10 miles per hour. So just make sure you and your kiddos have the jacket. Otherwise, again, rain is not a possibility. Now, let's move on to the next big thing in the weather. Early on Wednesday morning, not tomorrow morning, but Wednesday morning, the first freeze of the season is possible in the Hill Country. Here's a look at early Wednesday morning temperatures. Rock Springs, Kerrville, anywhere you see this pink color, that's where temperatures will be below freezing. Around San Antonio proper, I still think we're going to be above freezing. But if you live in the north part of the city, particularly close to Leon Springs, Fair Oaks Ranch, those areas up toward Kendall County and even up to Comal County, like near Bulverde, that's where we could have that first light freeze of the season. North of this pink line, I want you to remember to bring in that sensitive vegetation or cover up those plants if you live north of that pink line. Otherwise, we are going to start that general warming trend. It's not going to get too warm too quickly, but by the weekend when highs are in the 80s, you may even forget all about this colder air that's moved in.
Yeah, that's almost weather whiplash there.
It really is.
36 to 84. I mean, wow. Thank you, Sarah.
Absolutely.
All right, now we've been talking about high school football. You know what? We're a week away from playoffs there, but volleyball, it's already started to be playoff time.
The postseason is here, and you know that because it's late October. It was a sports equinox day with all of the major sports in action. But as far as the high school playoffs go, we bring you to two big matchups happening in town. Plus, Game 3 of the World Series saw the Texas Rangers defeat the D-backs. Highlights and more ahead.
This season has been my most fun season ever. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade this coaching staff nor my teammates for the world.
Jeter battles and the 9-0 Reagan Rattlers have displayed excellence this high school football season, and it's been a treat to watch. Time now for Big Board Sports. On the eve of Halloween, fans around town filling up gyms to witness the start of the high school volleyball postseason. We start at Burbank High School, where Burbank hosts Harlandale for the Class 5A by district round. First set, Bulldogs outside hitter Beth Jimenez hammers one near the end line to tie things up early. But Harlandale's Jocelyn Gutierrez answers right back, picks her spot in the back corner beautifully for the kill. And the Indians win it 3-0, advancing to the area round. Over at the Alamo Convocation Center, the Davenport Wolves were matched up with YWLA for a Class 4A by district match. The Wolves in rhythm. Talon Dotson gets up and lasers one just inside the baseline. Davenport on the attack again, setting up Lexi Dahl who tools the block as Davenport wins in straight sets, becoming by-district champs. And they told us communication is the key to their success.
I think it's definitely something we've kind of built up, and over last year we really got close together, and it's pretty much the same team returning, so our communication is really well together. We just blend really well.
We talk a lot on the court, and we know each other very well on the court and know each other, know how each other play.
We pretty much have our whole crew back this year, just a year older, a year more mature, and these kids, they just work hard, and it's fun. They make it fun. She can see they're staring at me right now. It's just a really good time.
So great. All right, our big game coverage game of the week is a District 28 6A showdown between 5-4 Brandeis and undefeated Reagan. We brought you inside the mindset of Brandeis at 6. As far as the Rattlers go, they're looking to keep their district record unblemished for the second straight season. Now, Reagan hasn't had the playoff success it would like, despite all of the regular season dominance, so they're coming into this game with a high level of intensity.
We played an imperfect game against Roosevelt, so we're working on just cleaning it up and playing some playoff football.
This game is like a pre-playoff game. Coach has been preaching it every day of the week, talking about this is going to get us ready for the playoffs, and we're looking at this game basically as the first run of playoffs.
It all goes down this Friday, Brandeis hosting Reagan at 7:30. The World Series went west, tied at 1-1 between the Texas Rangers and Arizona Diamondbacks. The series lead up for the taking in Game 3. Bottom of the second inning, San Antonio native Josh Young barehands the throw to beat out the runner at first. Max Scherzer even taking the assist on that one. All right, the momentum carries over to the top of the third, where Marcus Semien hit an RBI single. Then with Semien on, Corey Seager sends his 5th home run of the postseason over the wall in right field, and the Rangers go on to win 3-1 to retake the series 2-1. A pivotal Game 4 goes down tomorrow, same time, same place at 7:03 in Phoenix.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
After dominating the Rams yesterday afternoon, the Dallas Cowboys are in a really good spot ahead of their looming Week 9 NFC showdown at the Eagles. Philadelphia owns the league's best record at 7-1, and just like Dallas, they are 3-0 when playing at home this season. Dak Prescott is 8-3 against Philly since becoming the Cowboys' starting QB in 2016. Coming up after the break, the Spurs' first road test ends in disappointment. We'll be right back. Things got out of hand early for the San Antonio Spurs in their first road test of the season, and for Victor Wembanyama, the first road game of his NBA career. The Los Angeles Clippers defeated the Spurs by a 40-point margin. San Antonio turned the ball over 25 times, and it cost the team big as LA scored 34 points off of those turnovers.
It was like playing embarrassed, so to speak, because you're quickly getting your butt kicked. You got to fight your way out of that. You got to stick together. People start to separate a little bit. You can see it in body language and that sort of stuff. That's the biggest takeaway for us in the game. That everybody goes through those moments when you have a bad first quarter or whatever.
The Spurs stay on the road for matchups at Phoenix Tuesday and Thursday.
All right. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.